Yo, what's happening, guys? Welcome back to Rule of Two Review. Today we're going to talk about The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild, and actually, it's the Wii U version we're discussing. So it probably seems kind of weird to be talking about the Wii U version of Breath of the Wild, because right now we're mired in all of the Nintendo Switch hype, and even the version of Legend of Zelda on the Switch that we've now recently finally seen on the Jimmy Fallon show, which we all know about that fantastic thing. So it might be weird to be talking about the Wii U version, but it's actually in the news right now because today this rumor showed up out of nowhere that potentially Nintendo might be looking at canceling the Wii U version of the game. So the gist of the rumor, which you probably already know, and which I don't even really know that I necessarily believe, is that Nintendo's basically struggling to get this version of the game to run on the Wii U, hence they might actually straight up cancel the Wii U version and make it just a Nintendo Switch release. It's interesting because when you look at what Breath of the Wild is, it's a pretty impressive game. Visually, it looks great. Even the Wii U version, some people might want to disparage that, but they're crazy. I mean, the Wii U version looks really fantastic. It's obviously, the scope of the game is massive. There's a lot going on within this world. There are 1,000 million variables to factor on how this game looks. The variables, I think, are something that people haven't really talked about too much. There's 100 different ways that 100 different things could go at any given turn within the game. There's so much going on with the world that big and that open for you to explore. Not to mention, like, the 100 dungeons, whatever they're called. I'm forgetting what they're called. The little temple things that you run into. There's hundreds of the shrines. That's it. There's so many of those. Like, there's so many things that could happen in this game. It's probably fairly demanding. And when you think about that running on what we know is pretty old and outdated tech, the Wii U, it's like, okay, I could see why this game might struggle. We've also seen the Wii U version of the game running several times over the last 2.5 years, and I think that we've all noticed and even discussed the fact that sometimes the frame rate seems to struggle a little bit. So, okay, there are a couple seeds being planted to maybe lending us to believing that Nintendo might be struggling to make this game run on the Wii U. So again, I have to say, I don't really believe this, but what I wanted to do is discuss with you guys really quickly what I think it might mean that Nintendo might not release this game. So here's the thing. If we lived in a world where Nintendo would actually not release The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild on the Wii U, for any reason, just for whatever the reason, I feel like that would be a problem. And some people might be willing to say, hey, it's no big deal. The Wii U didn't sell very well. There's even less people playing the Wii U now than there was a year ago. And now we're all excited for the Nintendo Switch. Everyone's going to buy that. This game is going to release on the Switch where more people are going to play it. So it's really not that big of a deal if Nintendo doesn't want to release the game on the Wii U, especially if it's not running all that well. Which, again, I don't really believe. But, hey, it's not running all that well, so it's not a big deal. And I see that logic, and it's not completely wrong or off base, but I have to say that ultimately, the problem would become that this whole game will have been based on a lie. And it kind of echoes some of the same sentiments I've shared in why I actually want Zelda Breath of the Wild to be a launch game for the Switch and not Mario, even though I would really be okay with either. If I was going to pick one, I want Zelda, and it's because this game, just as a game, regardless of the platform, has been promised to us for far, far longer. Like I said, by the time, early 2017 rolls around, it will have been almost 3 years since we first saw this game. And it's been delayed several times, and it was going to come out in 2015, then it was 2016, then it became a Switch release. Now it's coming out next year in 2017. Like, this game has had a very rocky release schedule and a lot of bad press in terms of when it's being released. The gameplay has looked great, and that's the most important, but it's garnered a lot of negative attention for the delays and all these different things. So if you add on top of that the fact that this game, which was supposed to be initially released only on the Wii U years ago, before the Switch was even a thing, it's really going to sting and burn a lot of people. Yes, even Wii U owners, which I know we all want to think there's no one playing the Wii U anymore, but I play the Wii U, so it's not true. There are people waiting for this game on the Wii U. It's going to burn far too many people. I feel like a lot of people have echoed this sentiment in the past as well. I feel like it's very important for Nintendo and any company in this position, not even just Nintendo, any company that does business in this way, to be honest and to show that they can be reliable. It's one of these, I feel like releasing the game on the Wii U at this point would almost be just more of a good faith release than anything. It's just to show that, hey, we've told you this game is coming. We promised this game, this amazing epic Zelda adventure, we promised this on our Wii U, our 8th generation console that, yes, maybe we know the numbers don't look good, but we believe in it. We're proud of it. We stand by it, and we stand by this Zelda version of this game on this console. I think that it's important for them to do to save face, to show that they have integrity, to keep their dignity intact, and to show that they're honest and reliable to the consumer and the gamer. I think that that's incredibly important just from a business sense. And so I feel like releasing this game needs to happen, like I said, for good faith to the gamer and the Nintendo fans, so we can believe anything Nintendo tells us in the future. If they go back on the millions of gamers and the millions of Wii U owners who planned on playing this game on the Wii U and expected to be able to purchase it on the Wii U because Nintendo continually promised it to them, then it's going to be a problem if they don't release it. Now, again, I'm going to go back to my earlier point. I don't believe this yet. I mean, rumors like this, rumors are rumors, and there's been a trillion rumors over the last 18 months of our lives in the gaming industry and as Nintendo fans. We've been dealing with rumors, the NX this, the Twilight Princess HD that, the whatever. We've been dealing with it for a while. But in a lot of ways, and I have to acknowledge this even as someone who sometimes gets tired of the fact that every week there's another rumor, a lot of times rumors get started because there might actually be some truth to them. Even if they're just rooted in truth, but there's something more to it than just what it seems. A lot of times they come from somewhere, so maybe there's something to this. Like I said, we've seen evidence to the fact that the game has struggled to run on the Wii U, even though it's not finished, so maybe there's something to this. But as of right now, it's not fact, it's not proven, no one said anything. You can find a lot of proof that says Nintendo has a Wii U and a Switch version of this game coming, and so I don't want to believe it yet. But I feel like at least it warranted the conversation of what it would mean if Nintendo were to follow through with this rumor and not release this game on the Wii U. Now, earlier today, I watched Rich of Review Tech USA's video on this topic, and I really like Review Tech USA. I know, like a lot of things, it's pretty polarizing. Some people may be like, oh, that guy sucks, or that channel sucks, or he hates Nintendo, or whatever. A, I know he doesn't hate Nintendo, and B, even though I only agree with him 50% of the time, I still like him because of how he presents his opinion. So, anyway, that's why I went out of my way to watch his video when I saw he posted it. I really enjoy the channel, and he made a really good point. And he said, okay, people are talking about this version's going to get canceled on the Wii U because it's not running that well and Nintendo can't make it run. And the point he made was, well, I'll tell you what. If the Wii U had sold 50 million units and there were 50 million homes with Wii U sitting in them right now and people waiting to play the Wii U version of this game, regardless of if the Switch even existed or not, Nintendo would make this game work on the Wii U. And that was the point that he made on Review Tech USA, and I agree with that 100%. And because I agree with that, to me it means that the Wii U would have the capability to make this game run the way it's intended. It would mean that we have to believe that Nintendo is smart enough and talented and capable enough to make their games run on their hardware. They've always worked magic on their hardware, no matter how powerful or weak it might be. And I definitely give Nintendo the credit to believe that they could make this game work on the Wii U. And it just makes sense business-wise. I believe that Nintendo would say, these people deserve it. We have the install base. We have the money to make. I mean, they want to make money from people when they make a Zelda game like this. And so if the fan base for the Wii U is, or not the fan base, if the install base for the Wii U was there in big enough numbers, yeah, Nintendo would make this game work, you guys. They would find a way to do it. They're smart enough and talented enough to do it. They wouldn't have designed a game that couldn't run on the Wii U after 3 years of promising it on the Wii U. That's just, I mean, it's just not how Nintendo is. It's not the Nintendo we know. And so because I believe that they would make it work, it makes me believe that the Wii U version is not struggling so bad in its current state that they don't plan on releasing it on the Wii U. If all that makes sense. It's kind of a long-winded way to get around to that simple point of I believe they could make this game run on the Wii U. But I truly do believe that, you guys. So to me, that means that there probably isn't anything to this rumor. But again, I wanted to discuss if there was truth and if Nintendo would follow through with what this rumor says. And I think that it's going to be bad. People would be very, I think, justifiably angry with Nintendo. And it would also show me that Nintendo made a really poor choice. That's the number one thing I think I want to drive home in ending this video. To me, Nintendo will have made a really poor choice, and they would have made a bad business decision and a bad PR decision. And they would have done something really crummy to their fans in a way that I don't think I've ever seen Nintendo do before. Some of the things they've done that are crummy to fans are kind of by accident, from just like not knowing any better and being oblivious. Some of the things like shutting down fan games that maybe don't really need to be shut down is kind of sticking it to people. The way they claim stuff and treat the YouTube audience, not the greatest. To me, this with a specific game release in their storied franchise Legend of Zelda, I don't think they would go so out of their way to do something so backstabbish to their fans with a game release. On YouTube or with copyright infringement, it's a different story. I still don't agree with that stuff, but I can understand it and not get that mad at them. Doing this with Zelda, I think, would be a huge problem. It's not impossible, so I guess maybe we have to brace ourselves for the cold, harsh reality that Nintendo might be looking at canceling this version because they can't make it run on the Wii U. But I'm going to not believe it until Nintendo tells us otherwise. I'll prepare myself for it to potentially be true, but as it stands, I don't believe it, and it's not fact, so you shouldn't take it as fact yet. And yeah, I guess we'll kind of see. I think that's probably it. I think that's all I have to say on this topic. Very interesting rumor, and I thought it was interesting to discuss. I just feel like it's going to set a bad precedent, and people will be mad at Nintendo, and I think it will be a very poor choice by Nintendo. So that's it. That's what's going on with Zelda on the Wii U. That's my opinion on what would happen if they followed through with this rumor. What do you guys think? Do you believe the rumor, first off, or do you not believe the rumor? If you believe it, do you feel like it would actually set a bad precedent and Nintendo would be wrong to do so, even though we know they're going to sell, 17 times as many versions of this game on the Switch than they will as the Wii U? Do you feel that they still need to deliver on this promise and deliver to that audience, as small as it may be, and make this game release on good faith? Or do you think it really doesn't matter? Screw the Wii U audience and all 10 of those people. Let's just release it on the Switch. What do you guys think? What do you have to say about all this crazy stuff? Tell me what you think. This is Rob of Rule of 2 Review, guys. Thanks, of course, as always, for tuning in, and I'll catch you next time on another video.